Hey, what's up, y'all? Glad to see you here. You're gonna stop sneaking up on me though. You know who it is. It's your boy, Big Tank. Hank, coming at you with another Saturday live stream. And it's about to go down. I got a little energetic couple on here. I love to see couples coming together on the united front and winning. I love to see it, y'all. I love to see it. We got military morphs on today's episode. Talking to them a little bit backstage. Y'all are not going to be bored. They're not going to leave you with any dead space. And they say it can go on for days. I don't know if I have days, but we're going to get this done. Let me bring them on up in the house.
Hey, what's going on?
What's going on? What's going on?
What's up?
Military morphs in the house, y'all.
We are here.
Hey, give them a little introduction for those that don't know you. And for those that do know you, hey, they're going to want to know more about you. Give a little rundown, introduction, where you started, all the way up until where you're going, and then we'll go from there.
All right, sounds good. All right, so my name is Max. This is my fiance, Kayla.
Sorry, I'm working high.
She's my better half. She makes everything run nice and smooth over here. I have been keeping and breeding reptiles for 15 years now, and met Kayla, 10 years ago now, right? 10 years. We actually met in the gym. I used to work out all the time. She was the desk girl at 2 in the mornings. I would get done at work and go train, and then one time we had like a 4-hour conversation, and
first time we talked.
Time we ever talked was a 4-hour conversation. Told her about the reptiles, and she wasn't freaked out. She thought it was cool, so that's always a good sign.
Yeah.
And the rest is history. I mean, we started military morphs
a year ago.
So like I said, I've been breeding and doing this a long time, but we just recently got into the social media and actually having a company and stuff. And it's just been awesome. Absolutely awesome. I love this hobby. I'll always have this be a part of my life. I could never think of a time where I would not have reptiles, amphibians, or some kind of animals in my life. We're big animal people, big outdoors people, and it's just so much fun. Yep. Always on an adventure.
I'm not mad at that at all.
We were thinking of names for the company, right?
Oh, yeah.
We were like, dang, what should we call it? I don't want to be like anything normal because we're far from it. We need to do something that stands for our company, that's strong. And so we're talking about it, and I'm military, so Max is like, we should do something around that. I'm like, well, we don't have to do all like around me. Like, we should do something together, like have a together name. So he's like, well, what if we call it Military Morphs? And it's one name.
So I'd be like, she's the military, I'm the morphs.
It worked out good. So
it sounded good, had a nice ring to it, and it incorporates both of us and everything that we do, and it was born.
And this is our armory. So.
Yes, we call this the armory.
Yeah.
I see what you're doing there.
We have a good time.
Hey man, there's nothing wrong with it. Look, when a couple can have fun, work together and have fun too, oh man, y'all, it's done.
Yeah.
It's done. It's over. Y'all killing the game. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. I love it. It's awesome, and it's nice having your significant other be into everything and be cool with like this stuff, because not many people can say like, oh yeah, you have 200 snakes in your house. No, I'm bi. So she's all about it. She loves it. She's really been getting into it. She's learned a lot about the genetics. I've been teaching her a lot about genetic stuff, and she's learned a lot. She's getting there.
I'm getting there.
Okay, good deal.
There, but one day at a time, right?
Right. Hey, don't ever try to rush it, because you get out there, you'll be waiting on yourself to catch up. Still losing ground.
You can learn stuff every day. I mean, like I said, I've been doing this 15 years. I'm still learning stuff. So. Everybody's got to start somewhere.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Most definitely. Let's see who we got over here in the chat. Tag Reptiles in the house.
Oh, what's up, Tag?
Let me see. G3N3 Ticks Nerd.
Oh,
Genetics.
nerd.
Genetics
Christina.
nerd.
Oh,
Look at that.
Christina.
Awesome.
See how I figured that out?
So
Hey.
we got some friends in the house.
Okay. Let me see. Tag Genetics. Rolling. I see you. Still in you. From the Fish Fam. What's going on?
Oh, what's up?
Lady Tits Exotics. Welcome, ma'am. Silver Creek Aquarius. What's going on? Post Seaweed. I see you made it, ma'am. Welcome. Rob's Aquarium Room. What's going on? Y'all dropped in there with the high welcome, everyone. Mexicali Fish Keeper. What's going on? Working and lurking. Most definitely. Tag, what's going on? Oh yeah. Hey y'all, hit that like button. Share this out. Let everybody know that we over here and it's going down. All right, y'all.
Tell all your friends.
Looking forward to an awesome show tonight. Oh yeah, we're gonna do this. I believe in it. we don't have no excuse to do other than. All right. So as a little kid, how did you get into the hobby?
All right, so I'll never forget. So I was at my parents' house. I was helping them out in the yard. They were planting flowers and stuff. So I was helping them dig holes and all that kind of thing. And so I'm helping dig holes, and then I see this piece of dirt move. And I'm like, that's weird. I'm like, it's a piece of dirt that just keeps moving. And I pick it up, and it was an American toad. And so I caught it. My parents let me keep it in like a little fish bowl in the garage. I would feed it, worms and crickets, whatever bugs I found in the yard. And that's like the first time I like got into, frogs, amphibians, reptiles, and all that stuff. So I was catching frogs all the time. Every summer I'd keep them for a little bit and then let them go. And then my dad would go hunting up north, and I'd go up there and I'd just be going through the woods looking for stuff. And that's when I found my first like garter snakes and salamanders and stuff. So it just started with me being a little kid and being out in nature and just finding the stuff and thinking it's so cool. And then it got to be the point where I wanted to get my first reptile. I wanted to get I just wanted to get a ball python. Was my first snake I wanted to get, and my parents were like, no, like get a lizard or something. So I ended up getting a green anole lizard. I ended up getting like a leopard gecko, and then I came to him like, oh, please let me get a snake. And then I had to give my dad crap because when he was younger, like he had all kinds of lizards and snakes, and he actually had an alligator. And I'm like, Dad, you had an alligator. I just want a ball python, man. So I kind of broke him down. They finally let me get my first ball python, and then it's just been up from there.
Literally, yeah.
You say, Dad, how you tripping? You had a whole alligator.
I'm like, yeah, an alligator. They were like feeding it ground beef and stuff because back then they didn't know nothing about how to take care of these things. And I'm like, yeah, I don't want an alligator. I just want a snake. That's all.
That's too funny. I would say my story is pretty similar. Like growing up as a kid, like always playing outside, very, very full of nature, love exploring, going outside. I would like hang out, same thing with my dad. We used to be outside, run around, and he lived on 10 acres. So I would like, when I was visiting and stuff, we would go and hang out and go on adventures and like flip rocks over and like climb trees, just super, super outdoorsy, never really scared of any of like different kind of animals or pets. Yeah. But it was just a lot of fun. And then obviously meeting Max 10 years ago, and he was telling me about all these snakes he had and what he was doing. I was like super interested because I thought genetics were always like very interesting and how different things worked. And even though sometimes my brain with genetics does not wrap around, and I'm like, oh my goodness. And like this stuff is like so extra. It's like so in depth. But I'm like, I'm glad I have a good teacher because he teaches me all this stuff. And I'm like, I don't know. But after seeing like Max like show me the process, like the very first year I was around for snake season or baby season rather, when I saw those first eggs being laid and then I saw those babies first pip out, I fell in complete love. Like I was like, man, this is what you do. This is amazing. You see life, like you created life. You like made this happen, and you know, obviously, and taking care of the animals and everything is just amazing. It's an amazing process. Yeah,
I love it.
So we're hooked.
Most definitely, most definitely. I remember having a musk turtle lay an egg in a bucket, and we called the Houston Zoo. I went to the county extension agent in my little town.
Yeah.
We called the Houston Zoo. Got plastic shoe boxes, vermiculite, plastic wrap. We tried to hatch this egg. I mean, the egg wasn't fertile. I mean, I know that now.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm dealing with all these adults back then, and nobody asked the question of, hey, was there 2 turtles in there? I mean, what's going on?
Right. Right.
You know, yeah, no, I got this white egg, and it's just the egg. But hey, it was a learning experience. But mine goes back, I mean, I had to be about 7 years old during that time. And mine started like way back then, like, I want everything to live in here and have babies and all kinds of stuff. So I can see where that first season, you know, the eggs being laid, that by itself is already an excitement. You know what I'm saying? And then, okay, the process, we know we're trying to hatch these eggs. So you're waiting and you're waiting and you're anticipating. And then the day comes and it's like, oh man, see all the little egg tooth coming through. Oh man, look at it, it's going down. It's going down.
Yeah, that's like the best thing, because you know, you go through all the stuff of like raising the snakes up, pairing them, you know, finally getting the eggs, setting the eggs up, and then they finally hatch, and you get to hold that final product, you know, in your hands, you know, the final result of all that hard work you were doing.
And then there's part 2. You grow up the baby. You grow up the baby, you feed them, you grow up, and then that baby starts producing now as an adult. And you see that, like we have our, you know, one snake over here that I watched grow up, but this into over 10 years, you know, and now she's gravid. It's absolutely amazing to see the whole process.
Yep.
And I would be trying to hold back everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like with her, like she cherry picks her few. I'm like, oh, like, because I'll tell her, I'm like, I'm gonna sell this. She's like, no, I want to keep that one. That's always the hard part. I want to keep everything.
It's okay to be selfish a little. Like, just a little. Yeah.
Hey, the one thing I had to get used to, especially, you know, when I started with the raising dogs, was like, you got to give the people, you know, I'm going to sound like a dope dealer. Y'all, I didn't sell dope. I sold dogs. You got to give the people a taste, you know.
Yes.
So you can't keep all the good stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, you got to keep them like, man, that was, I'm going to tell somebody about that you got over there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
1,000%.
Better now than before, because before I'm like, no. But
yeah, she wanted to keep everything.
I just like to keep, you know, Sergeant Kayla. I like to keep people accountable and make sure, you know, they're taking care of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Especially our stuff.
We like them to go to good home. We go, like, I always tell people, like, we go through all this work and all this time to like produce this stuff. We want to make sure they go to good homes. You know.
Most definitely. So how many snakes y'all got in there right now?
We're just under 200.
Yeah.
And that's just in here.
Yeah.
We got some other stuff out there and some other stuff up there.
Man. So all together then.
Probably 3.
No, not 3. I'd say like we probably
250.
225.
Mm-hmm.
No. You counting each isopod?
Oh no, never mind. Never mind. I don't know. You just sort of round up.
We have about 15 different species that we work with. A majority of them are snakes, but we do have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 different species of turtles, 2 different species of tortoises. We have 3 different species of gecko, and then we have the Egyptian sandfish. Those are super, super cool. I've always wanted those. It took me forever to track those things down because they are just incredibly hard to find, but they're friggin' awesome.
And I don't know what that is.
I was just gonna ask.
You're gonna make me.
So that's the thing. They're so incredibly rare. People are like, what's an Egyptian sandfish? What kind of fish is that? And I'm like, it's actually not a fish. It's a skink. It's a type of lizard, and they're about, I don't know, 6-7 inches long. They look like fake plastic lizards you get at the dollar store. Honestly, they look fake almost.
Gotcha.
And I remember seeing them on the Tonight Show with Jay Leno when I was a kid. One of the people were on with animals. I think it was like someone from Busch Gardens, Orlando or something. You know, they bring animals onto the show and they talk about them. And ever since I saw them and saw what they do, because the reason they call them Egyptian sandfish is the way they fly into the sand, they disappear. They can swim through the sand like fish swim through water. And when I saw them disappear, like they do it so quick, and like it's insane to see in person. I was just hooked. I'm like, man, I gotta have some of those one day. And I went to my local expo one time and the guy had some, and I'm like, I'm the responsible one. I'm like, I don't have a tank set up. I don't know too much about them. Like, I'll get them next time, you know, because the show was next month. I'll get them next month. So I go to the show next month. I was like, cool, I'm going to get these lizards finally. And he didn't have any. Oh, hold on, let me back it up.
No, it'll.
Oh, it'll go on repeat, but like they just kind of.
Sorry. You can see it. Hold on.
I'm bad with the YouTube thing.
Gotcha.
Wait, hold on.
I think the ring light kind of. It's hard to see.
Anyways, I have it on our Instagram. I'll share it to the story so y'all can see it later.
Yeah. But
it's very interesting. They're very interesting.
So he didn't end up having those lizards, and I didn't see him again for about 10 years. I finally found someone who had some online. I ordered like 6 of them, and I've had those guys. I've had those ones for like 12 years now, and they're super awesome. We've recently started to get eggs, and we've gotten some breeding out of them. So to my knowledge, we're actually working with an undergrad student in Ohio that's working with some scientists over in Japan that have produced them over there. So he's sending us some of their research papers and stuff, and working alongside with him. Because to my knowledge, if we are able to produce babies in captivity, we would be the first ones in the U.S. to captively breed them.
We just got an egg the other day. It's unfertile, but
it's a start.
It's a start.
It's a start. So they're just super
definitely.
Cool. Yeah.
Most definitely. No, that's a little beyond cool right there. That's
yeah.
I love
them.
I'm about to look
super awesome.
Most definitely. Now, with that, the most definite, obvious question: feeding. You got that much, man. Give me a little insight. Let me peep into the feeding regimen.
Feeding, it's there's a lot of food that goes down in this house. Between me with the amount of food I eat, the dogs, and then all the animals. Yeah, that food bill is up there. But you know, I've gotten to the point now where since we have so many animals, I break the feeding schedule up a little bit just to make it a little bit easier, so we're not feeding for like, you know, 5-6 hours a day. So like I'll feed, you know, babies on one day, I'll feed grow-ups another day, and then I'll feed adults on the other day. And then you know, so and then I'll do kind of like a rollover thing, so I don't like waste as much stuff, because we do frozen thawed over here. There's a handful of animals that we have that do live, but for the most part, 90% of this stuff is all frozen thawed. So I'll take out usually a little bit less than what I need. Yeah, digging those stickers. I'll always take out a little bit less than what I need, so just in the event that something doesn't eat, you know, I'm not wasting as much stuff. And then worst case, if I run out, I'll just add those couple feeders to the next day, or
just do those snakes on that day instead of their designated scheduled day. So then, it works out for us. We have a routine.
Yeah, that's our routine. That's our schedule. And then if I do happen to have any like bigger food items that are left over, we have a 14-foot reticulated python behind us here. He usually takes care of any of the big stuff that's left over. And then we've got 4 snapping turtles out there that I call them my little garbage disposals, because anything that hits the water is they're happy with.
Fair game. Yeah, I like big snakes. Reticulated python.
Oh, dude, he's awesome. I've had him for 13 years. Raised him up from a baby. He's just under 14 feet long now, right? Last time we measured him. Yeah. So, you know, he was little baby. I used to have him like a small shoebox. He was like that big around, and now he's, you know, just shy of 14 foot. He's probably like, you know, that he'll eat like 6-7 pound pigs right now. It's his prey of choice.
Question: what is your feeling on feeding during shed?
I'll offer them food. 9 times out of 10, they won't. Especially like ball pythons, very rarely will eat and shed. Boas very rarely will eat and shed, but the colubrids will almost always eat and shed. They don't care what time. If they're in shed, if they're in the middle of shedding out, they don't care. Like those things are so food responsive, especially the California king snakes. Man, I have them eat and shed all the time. I don't have any issues with it either.
Gotcha. Question: do all colubrids musk?
Yeah, like especially as baby. There's some that musk more than others, but most of them it's just like a hatchling to juvenile kind of stage thing. I almost never have the adults musk on me anymore, ever.
No.
It's almost always babies.
They're chill. I mean, they it's just like a thing as a juvenile. They're just unsure. They're scared. You just have to work with them and make sure let them know you're not a threat.
Yeah, it's just a defense thing.
Yeah, that musk made me get out of colubrids like a week after I got in.
Yeah. I don't know why it doesn't really bug like us.
I don't know.
It doesn't really happen that much.
Yeah, maybe it's because it doesn't happen too often to us, but like it doesn't bug me. I'll just be like, must on me, whatever.
Right.
Just another day in the life for me.
I hear you. With me having all those other critters that I'll tell you about, and then I run across the king snake, beautiful. Oh, he was beautiful. I said, man, let me try this out.
Yeah.
I'm at the house. I reach in. Oh,
you're like, oh man.
Yeah.
Oh, we need to talk about this. We need to discuss this, man. I don't.
Something's wrong here.
Yeah, that wasn't in the instructions. I don't.
Right. Like, damn. Okay.
I missed that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. No. I love them. To look at them now. Especially got a few morphs. In those also. But yeah, I'm kind of scarred. I have PTSD. I ain't gonna be able to do it. Now, what direction are y'all headed on your on this morph road?
So there's a handful of just genes that I like working with, that, I'll be scrolling through I shouldn't say, back in the day, I'd be flipping through Reptiles magazine and I'd see these different, mutations and stuff. And that really is what piqued my interest in actually starting to breed, and then social media comes around. It's easier for people to share stuff. And so I'd be scrolling through. I'm like, oh man, that's cool. What's all in that? There's this, this, and this. And okay, I'm like, that's the gene that's, because all the other genes are stuff that, I've seen before. But then like the bongo gene, I just got that in, red stripe, all kinds of genes that I've been wanting to work with that I feel are like doing some cool stuff, but I feel like there's more to it. So I do like playing around with some of those genes. Just got them in this year, so I haven't been able to experiment yet, but I'm definitely looking to do more with that. The Desert Ghost stuff has always been one of my favorite genes. Was finally able to produce some visuals last season, and I want to put Desert Ghost in everything. Like that's always been my absolute hands down favorite gene. Ever since I saw it, like I said, in Reptiles magazine. It was Kevin McCurley did this ball python article, and the centerfold is always like a poster of some kind, and it was just like a grid of 30 or 40 different mutations, and I'm like looking at all of them like, oh, these are cool. And then I saw Desert Ghost. I'm like, man, that's really something interesting. And back in the day it wasn't anything special, but now they're doing stuff that hasn't been done before, and the Desert Ghost stuff is really starting to make things I feel like people are really starting to appreciate it more.
It just got cool all of a sudden.
Yeah.
So. We're just well, thank God we had it.
Well, and I'm here to tell you, me just coming in, learning, trying to learn these morphs and everything, and I would hear people breaking down, the combos, genetic combos in, whether hidden or not, and I was hearing DG, and I'm like, man, what is DG? What is it?
Yeah, right.
You're talking about DG. Till I realized, so yes. Almost every program, nobody take it personal now. I may not be talking about your program, but almost every program, there's DG, going hard when they, give the description.
Yeah, it's And like I said, whether it was going to be popular now or popular 5 years from now or something, like I was always going to be,
anyway.
I was always going to be working with it anyways. And then same thing for like colubrids. So my biggest project that I've been working on for years and years now is I've been taking our high white California king snakes and I've been getting them into the lavender gene, and I was line breeding to reduce out the pattern. So I'm ultimately trying to pull as much pattern and then plug that lavender in to ultimately work on a solid purple California king snake. That's my ultimate thing. So now we're really starting to get some very nice high white individuals that are pos het carriers. We don't have 100% het carriers yet, but we're getting every season getting closer to that goal of finally having the right ingredients that we need to, produce that final product that's in my mind of, it's cool to just have those like visions in your mind of these things, and then to finally like breed over all these years and you finally produce that animal that's been in your mind. It's awesome.
It's easy to go out and buy the genetics yourself, but to actually take your own stuff and make it work, that is, to us, is more achievable and more rewarding than taking the shortcut. You can take the shortcut; it's all good. But like for us, this is something we wanted to do with our own stuff.
Yeah, I love the process.
Yeah,
I agree with that totally, and most people would agree with you, even if they don't want to admit it.
Yeah.
I know back in my dog days, Brindle, Brindle was the thing, kind of like your pies. Nowadays, it's like, hey, if I can get me some white dogs with nice brindle spots, blue brindle, red brindle, black brindle, let me get this one with this one. So I know that feeling. The puppies drop out and you're like, oh, there's one. Oh, look at that one. Look at that one. Oh.
Yeah.
Let me take that one and hide it,
Yeah.
I would say with mammals, it's easier because they just come right out and you get to see that stuff. With most snakes, it's like, okay, now you have eggs. Now you got to wait a little bit longer, then you can see what you got.
Right.
Maybe.
Any plans of working with dry Marcon or dry Marcon?
Dry Marcon. If my memory has not completely failed me, dry Marcon are all the Crebos and indigo snakes. I would love to. I love them. They're a big colubrid. They're getting into the 8 to 10 foot range. Big, beautiful, impressive colubrids. I would love to have some indigo snakes. They are really, really beautiful. Arguably one of the prettier colubrids out there. I mean, and the Crebos are awesome too. But any plans now? No. If something comes along that piques my interest and happens to be the right deal at the right time, I wouldn't say no.
Right.
But they definitely take up a decent amount of space. Like most of the king snakes, the hognose, the Honduran milks, they're more small to medium-sized colubrids, I would say. So they're very easy to manage. But those other ones would definitely need like a lot bigger enclosures.
Really quick, I love what Warrior Planted Tank said. He said, that is so true. Anyone can buy a Lambo and call it a race car, but only real motor heads make hot rods.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's a good analogy. It's a good analogy, for sure.
I like that. That's nice.
Most definitely. Horsepower to the rear wheel. Oh.
Right.
My fault, y'all. I'm back now. So right now, what would you say in your collection is, how do I want to word it? Okay, let's say your most prized.
Okay.
Well,
man.
Okay. So.
What? You go and then I'll.
So we're a different kind of breed where, we're not always about the money. I mean, the most expensive snake sometimes is some people's favorite in their collection. Ours is more of like the meaning behind it, I guess. Or a little bit of both, I guess.
Yeah, like there's a handful of snakes that we have that for nostalgic purposes mean a lot to us, even regardless if there's not a price tag on it. I'll grab this one just because she's just one of my favorite babies from last season. Oh, I got her. Because like I was saying earlier, Desert Ghost has always been my jam, and we finally produced some last season. This was the only visual female we ended up with. She is a Leopard Pinstripe Desert Ghost. She's
Oh.
Hot's Head Pied. So I always forget I got to go to the left to go right. But she is just gorgeous, incredibly clean. She's really starting to brighten up now. She's really getting that DG color change going on.
Nice.
But yeah, this girl is incredible. I cannot wait till she's up to breeding size. I can't wait to see her on a pile of eggs.
She was definitely like one of those prize ones that when she came out, we were absolutely in awe.
Yeah, so we've got 2 females that are gravid now where we have the potential for more of these. Man. So she's gorgeous, though.
What are her genetics again?
So she's a Leopard Pinstripe Desert Ghost, and then she's 50% Posset Pied.
Gotcha. Yes.
She's clean. She's colorful. She's got a couple paradox spots. She got like one on her face, and like one on her back. It's hard to pick up on the camera, but she's incredible. Love this snake.
So she's one, and here I'll put her away. Yep. Yeah. She is one, and then.
But yeah, there's some snakes like that are like it's just one of those things. Like I've always wanted to produce them. That I finally after. Because the female that I got her out of, I've had her for like 6 or 7 years, and I've tried pairing her the last 3 years, and she would not, and she didn't go for me. And then she finally went last year, and then we were lucky enough to end up with that. And I'm like, like I said, it's just that process of going through all that stuff, and then finally being able to have that, final. It's just incredible.
She knew something that you didn't.
Right.
She was like, wait, hold, I got it. Hold on.
Yeah.
You want to bring him
up? He's in shed, but yeah, we can take him out real quick.
Here's
and then this guy.
He's one of our prized possessions.
Yeah, he's the oldest snake that I have. I've had him. He's 15 years old now.
He'll be 16 this year.
16 this year. This is the first California king snake I ever got. And I never bred him for the longest time. Like for years, I never bred this guy. He was just a pet. And I bred him to one of my females the one year, and we ended up with albinos, which I never knew he was het albino. And I actually produced the female that I bred him to, and I didn't know that she was het albino because I never bred albino into that project. So I backtracked it to that girl's parents, where I got her parents from. He ended up breeding albino into that project. So the parents that I got ended up being het carriers. Then she ended up getting it from the parents, and then he got it from whoever he was bred from, and then I just happened to get those 2 together, and we ended up with albinos, which wasn't even what I was shooting for. So like I said, that's the cool thing about breeding. Like sometimes you get stuff that you weren't really planning on. And this guy's just incredible. Like I said, I've had him for 15 going on 16 years now. He's going to be retired after this season.
So Max is 30. So he got him when he was 15 years old. He was a kid. So he's been through girlfriends and college and my military travels. Yes. And this guy has been with us through jobs, through all like the hard times in life. It's crazy.
And he's got like a ghost head stamp. That's why I named him Casper, because it's like 2 little eyes and a mouth on the back of his head.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And actually, one of his babies from last year was literally a carbon copy. It has the same like break in the one band toward his tail, same head stamp. So it's just cool that, this guy, colubrids are, average 15 to 20 years for the most part. And him being on the tail end of life, it's just really cool that we have his son who's now looks exactly the same, and we can have him for another 15 to 20 years. So it's super awesome. So when we talk about the value of snakes and stuff, it's not always a price tag for me. Like that's cool, because this snake has been such a big part of my life, and now to have his son who literally looks the exact same. Can you grab his? Yeah. Like literally looks the exact same, and it's just so cool to be able to have that, next generation, and to be able to still have that, so
there's the baby.
Yeah, so this is his son, and like I said, he's still got the
hang on, he's
still got that same head stamp on his head there.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but these guys are a little bit flightier until they get older, but literally has the exact same pattern and head stamp as the dad. And it's just so cool. As soon as I saw that little head come out, I'm like, no way. I'm like, that is so cool.
We were in awe.
That's real. No, that's real. That's off the hook, man. Especially with the whole backstory. That's
yeah.
That's crazy. I I don't believe in just like fate per se. I believe in stuff being, orchestrated.
Yeah.
I'm that guy.
Yeah.
And my little musk machine I had was black. Well, your snake is brown. He was black
Yeah.
and white like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So like with the kings, the more brown and white ones are more coastal phase California kings, and the black and white ones are like desert phase.
Okay.
Because I do have some that are more black and white bands, and those ones are more like a brownish color with like a creamy yellowish like kind of banding instead of like that stark white banding.
Gotcha. Question.
Yes.
Is Orthodox always good?
You're talking about Paradox?
Paradox. There you go. I said Orthodox. Yeah, Paradox.
You're good. Paradoxing is cool. It's very random. It's not like a genetic trait. The only snakes I know that like the paradoxing is actually genetically inheritable is with the Kenyan sand boas. You can produce like paradoxes with those on like a regular basis, whereas other mutations, paradox, it's more of like, okay, I hatched out an albino ball python that has patches and normal. So it's a real like oddity of nature kind of thing. It is really cool when you do produce one because it's just super bizarre. And sometimes it can be little spots, sometimes it can be whole patches of the animal. So it's very very random like how it works.
Gotcha. Because I asked that first. I heard you mention it, but I asked that because I've set in on a lot of discussion, and somebody bring a snake out and quickly go to the paradox.
Yeah.
Like they can repeat that paradox with this animal, and be part of one of those new genetic deals. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
So I was like, is that always a good thing? Is it not? I just need to get a feel of it.
And like I said, it's not a bad thing because it's just like a genetic I don't know, inconsistency, I guess I would call it. It's very random. Like I could produce 100,000 snakes and not have one single animal that has some kind of paradox on it. Or you could, produce 10 snakes out of 100 that have a paradox. So I don't think I'll get to that in a minute. I don't think it's like, something that genetically that can be put on to future generations. Like I said, the only ones I know that where it's genetically inheritable to offspring is the Kenyan sand boas. Like you could say like this is a paradox albino or something, and you could produce more paradox albinos with that particular species there. But as far as like ball pythons or other species, it's not a genetically inheritable trait. So I don't think it hinders the life of the snake or the genetic of the snake or anything like that. It's just more of like an oddity of nature kind of thing.
Gotcha. I just always want to know if I'm about to step on to the hype train when I'm listening to
I don't think so. I mean, like paradoxes have been around for as long as I can remember, and it's one of those more like 1 in a million kind of things. Like it's like hatching a two-headed snake, or we actually a year or two back, we hatched a snake that had 2 different colored eyes. It had a black eye and a blue eye. It was super cool. And I didn't realize it because I was looking at one side of the snake. Kayla was looking at the other. I'm like, oh, he's got a really cool black eye. She's like, oh, what are you talking about? It's blue. So then I turned around, I'm like, oh shit. Like, it's just super cool to like see those oddity things. And the more snakes you have, or the more animals you produce of whatever it might be, the weirder things you'll see. Like we had our first twins a handful of years ago. Like I said, this one that's got the 2 different colored eyes. It's just super cool because, having more snakes, you see more of this stuff. If you only got 1 pair, you might not see that stuff. So.
Gotcha. Do you think that's a polymorphic trait, the head stamp on the king snake?
Yeah, I would say it's polymorphic only because other babies in the clutches do get a head stamp, but it's not always that complete, like dot, like the 2 eyes in the face. Like the other one, sometimes it's all connected, so it almost looks like a V or something. So I would say it's polymorphic to a degree, yeah, because it definitely varies on the offspring.
This one just allowed
he was actually the only one in the last like 70 babies that we got out of that male that had that exact head stamp.
Yeah.
where it was like literally like perfect like that, where it literally looked just like the dad's. Like out of 70 babies, I was the only one. And we've got one more clutch. She's actually pregnant right now with his last clutch, because I'm gonna retire him after this season. And so we'll see if we get another one. That'd be cool.
Gotcha. This question, all I want is a yes, no, not yet. Have you ran across a what do you call a baby snake first?
A juvenile, neonate, hatchling.
No, okay. Because baby fish is fry. So I was about to
Right.
say, if you run across a fry, I was about to say it, then I'm like, okay, it's not a fish. A baby snake where it's like, man, this is gonna change the world. Nobody's seen this yet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I have.
You said yes or no?
Just because they're okay, I will say yes. If it's just a yes or no, I will say yes.
Because I mean, now if you want to elaborate, you can. But I did that because that's what you're shooting for.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what you're shooting for. So yeah. I'm like, hey, okay, check. I'm gonna remember. You know what I'm saying? That they on the road like that. Because a lot of people is like, man, I've been trying and trying and trying, and I just can't. And then I've seen people like, man, my first drop, I got a whole batch of this, and it's like, oh man, some people that just come right on in the door. Some it take a little bit longer.
Yeah. So the one pinstripe I have, I call it my funky pinstripe, because when I initially bought the male, like I saw pictures of him and they were just selling him as just a pinstripe, but he did not look like what your average pinstripe ball python would look like. The pattern is just super, super different. I'll show you those in a minute. So I got him, and then I ended up breeding him to a normal female, because anytime I'm trying to suss out like what's going on with a gene, I want to take it to a normal female just to kind of see what the resulting babies are. So then I can see, okay, it's not just this, it has this and this. Like, if it was a pastel spider ball python, but I didn't know it was a pastel spider, I would want it to breed it to a normal, because then like, okay, I see pastels in the baby, so I know there's pastel. I see single gene spider, so I know there's spider. You'd be able to suss out what it is. With this guy, I bred him to a normal female. The normal offspring looked normal. The pinstripes came out with the same pattern as the dad, but varying degrees of it. Some had a lot of it. Some had not so much of it. So this is the original male that I have. Can you grab the pin pasta clown?
Yeah, hold on.
So I'm gonna show you just a couple things, like what I mean, like why I call it funky. So this is just a gene that I'm trying to isolate personally. So this is what your average pinstripe is going to look like. It's got like that kind of thinner pattern, little dots and that kind of thing, gold brown base color.
So this is what a normal would look like.
Yeah. So, and then this is the male I got. So he's just got these really just kind of funky pattern up the back. It's just a lot thicker banding. It's almost got like a kind of like a white stripe looking almost down his back. So just the pattern is really different. Now his offspring picked up the same pattern. I had these two males, and each one picked up a little bit of a different degree of it. So like this one has a little bit back here. It's a little more normal up front. But then this girl has, or not a girl, this is a boy too, has just a lot more of that just really bizarre pattern to her. So it's just a gene that I'm trying to isolate.
This one's the craziest though, because see how this one's like solid. Hang on, it's like solid, right? Solid. And then if you look down here, it starts to space out a little, right?
Yeah.
This one, all the striping and everything is. If you go in closer, it's all spaced. See, there's a space here. Go down. There's that's all spaced out on the pattern. So it's sort of crazy how this one's like half and half. It's like solid pinstripes, and then over here it's more spaced out. Very different. Don't know why.
Gotcha. Hey.
Yeah. So and all the normal babies looked normal. So it wasn't like something I really saw as like, okay, that's a different gene that's going on. So ultimately what I want to do is either take one of those siblings like back to each other, which normally I don't inbreed stuff, but in this case where I'm trying to see if there's like some kind of super form going on there, I could see like whatever that super form of that gene that's in there would be.
Gotcha.
If there is one. There might not even be one. It just could be like an oddity one-off kind of thing. But at least I know it is inheritable.
So it doesn't disappear when you do two visuals.
I haven't done it. I haven't done it yet. So
Okay.
that's my next stop. That's my next stop.
Gotcha. Got a question down here. I know the answer to, but I'm gonna let you take it.
I remember around 2012 there was a ball python morph that had an alien pattern. Did that pattern prove out? I think it was a Mohave. Not sure. So is he talking about the monsoon or something, or I don't know what the.
I think he's just talking about clowns.
Oh,
but he hasn't been in the snake world for a long time. He used to be in it, some years back.
Pass me the blade.
Okay, hold on.
Because clowns are notorious for having just like really wonky like looking head stamps on them too. So if he's talking like something like this, ball python doing classic ball python stuff, where they got that really. Sorry, I'm bad at the YouTube.
Yeah,
I'm always wanting to go right, but I need to go left. Like where they have those really like wonky kind of head stamps to them. Like that's what clowns do. They just always have that kind of crazy head stamp to them. Now this is just a blade clown, just single 2 gene. So the blade is like an enhancing kind of cleaning kind of gene, and then the clown, obviously you have that real thick dorsal, little spotting on the sides, but that blade really cleans it up. So you can see where there's almost little to no pattern. Just towards the bottom in that midsection.
Gotcha. There's like orange and yellow, brown. Very, very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Very, like that's just the color. Sorry, the light sort of washing.
Hopefully, he'll be doing some work for us next season.
Gotcha. Well, yeah, I think his question was more because he didn't mention head step. It was just the alien pattern period. Which reason I said I know the answer to it is because clowns are really known for it, but then you have it in so many other things. People are looking for the alien heads down the side. You know what I'm saying?
Is he talking about this more or less? The alien heads?
Yeah. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So yes, they have proven out because they're like
everywhere.
They want them to show up in everything. You know.
Yeah, it's a proven recessive trait, 1000%. Yep.
Hey Steve, you see how I'm getting these genetics down? That's Warrior Planet takes. His name is Steve.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it takes. So I ended up making flashcards for Kayla. I ended up making like codominant trait cards, dominant, recessives, and then you have your allelic traits, which the allelic traits can really get confusing too. So yeah, that's all your like alien heads down the side there.
I got you.
But yeah, with clowns, that's definitely a proven trait. But like most ball pythons have that alien head type pattern.
Sorry, this one's
some
getting washed out.
Clean it up and do more than others.
Yeah. So this one is
it's a banana
Woma Mohave.
Yep.
So if he's talking about Mohave, this is a good example. It's hard to tell because that camera light
the light
blurs
kind of washes
right
out
out.
his color. They said I should sell the flashcards.
We're working on it.
Yeah,
we're working on it.
She had talked about it, which I don't mind because I want people to be educated, because I've gone to shows where some people either they're trying to dupe people or they just don't know what they're talking about themselves. Where I'll see a snake label as something and I'm like, yeah, that's not what that is. But like someone who maybe doesn't understand genetics or know genetics might be like, oh yeah, I've heard about that. I'm gonna buy that, and then it ends up not being that. We
just gotta get the card game understandable and to a point where it's going to be easy to understand before we even sell that or figure out how to do that.
To me, I can do all the genetic math in my head and I can spit you out an answer. But I've been doing this for so long, like it's second nature to me. Like I could start talking genetics and I'll lose people.
Gotcha. Hey, you're gonna have to speed up on the production now, right?
Yeah. Well, we've got about 12 females that are gravid right now, so we're waiting for the inevitable egg party.
How cool would it be if they laid eggs right now on this live?
I have a girl.
Hey!
She's 6 days past due. I'm like a little kid on Christmas, constantly looking in here, man.
Hey, I've been known to bring Christmas miracles with me now. It might
All
happen.
right.
It might happen now.
Well, hopefully we'll have some luck today or tomorrow morning.
Hey, most definitely, man. Most definitely. Hey, did y'all see my stream with Gator Pool Gators?
No, I didn't see that one. I saw.
You're gonna have to watch it. Did I send it? I can't remember if I put it in message.
I peeked in on there. I peeked in on that one.
Cause the back end of that stream is very, very, very weighty. It's very heavy and it's very good.
Okay.
But the back end has nothing to do with reptiles.
Okay. I'll watch that. I'll watch that tonight because I gotta do a little bit of feeding today. So maybe I'll do it tomorrow. I didn't want to feed stuff today because I knew I was taking stuff out, so I didn't want to upset them before I started feeding them. So I'll probably end up feeding tomorrow.
But we'll definitely.
But yeah, I'll definitely watch that though for sure.
Hey, I wasn't putting y'all on the spot, but just when I said I've been known to bring Christmas, Christmas miracles, yeah. I thought about where that stream went at the end, and I'm like, yeah, if they watch that, they'll know, a little bit. You can see into what I'm talking about right now.
Yeah,
I did check it.
No, it'll click for me. I'll watch that though. I'll probably end up watching it tonight for sure.
Hopefully, you can bring the same blessing to us.
Hey, you just never know. You just know. Hey, and it's free.
I love it.
There you go. It's free.
Love right there.
Fresh love. Free love. Let's see here. I have a spider given to me with a caviar. He was the only survivor out of 2 clutches not to breed. Dad was supposed to be a GHI. I'm not sure what the Cavite or caviar. I'm not sure what you're talking about there. Only survivor out of 2 clutches not to breed. I don't know if they're talking about if the mom didn't breed, but she somehow produced viable eggs or something, or if it was 2 clutches and it was the only egg to survive.
I don't know. Break it down a little bit more.
I need a little more information.
Twist.
Because I mean, breeding's not always straightforward.
Like with the caviar, like a twist.
Oh, okay.
Like with a little
extra. Spider issue.
Yeah, because spiders are notorious for having the head wobble. It can be, some can not have a wobble at all. Some can have, some can have it pretty bad. But in my experience, even with one of them, I did have, and the head wobble was really bad. He still, lived a normal life. He produced offspring. He ate no problem. So
he didn't have any problems at all. We actually called him roller coaster, or no, we called him derp.
You called him derp.
Derp. DERP. Yeah. And he lived a full life. He's totally fine.
Yeah. He was just so wild, because
he would just go backwards.
Yeah.
He's one of those. I'm like, we just call him Derp.
I meant when I was feeding him, he would just kind of flip around trying to hit it, and then I literally had to put it right in front of his face, and he ate no problem. He bred no problem, produced offspring no problem. So. Yeah, so her spider has, or I don't want to assume it's a her, his or her spider has no wobble at all. So that, and that's the thing with that gene. A lot of people are so weary about the head wobble. Like I said, I've had it with no wobble. I've had it with bad wobble. It doesn't, to me, it doesn't affect their life at all. I haven't seen one where it was so bad. Yeah,
Lady Tiss is a female. That's Miss Nicole.
That's lady.
Okay.
It says lady on the name.
All right. I never like to assume.
This has spider in it.
Yeah, so this is a banana phantom spider. I've never seen any head wobble issues with this guy. He eats no problem. He'll probably end up breeding for us next year. So to me, I don't mind having the spider gene. A lot of people are super weary of it lately, but I don't see any issue with having it or not having it. You know.
So totally fine, guy.
Yeah.
He's just living his life.
Eats no problem, growing great, and I foresee him not having any issues breeding. So, you know, some people are scared of it, some aren't. So, be careful with breeders you don't know or have references. Supposed to be pure GHI, bred to known GHI female. All eggs except one died. All offspring were spiders. Well, that's weird. That is weird. Yeah, so my spider has no head wobble, great ear also. Yeah. Yeah, and that's another thing, you know, like definitely getting from a reputable breeder who knows what they're talking about, because like I've seen I was at a show and they had it labeled as a clown, and it clearly was not a clown. It looked like maybe a fire to me because it had a normal pattern to it. There was nothing clown about it. But you know, someone who's unsuspecting that might not know enough about genetics or anything to look at it and know it's not that, you know, would get kind of screwed over, which, you know, that's where getting, you know, your snakes from an experienced breeder or a reputable breeder, you know exactly what you're getting. Because I can tell you exactly when that baby hatched, when it ate last, when it shed last, what the parents were, and I can show you pictures of the parents. Like I can, you know, I can show you all that right now. So
Yeah.
it just goes with that experience, because like I never want, especially like when people are getting their first snake, I never want that you know, that experience to be their first snake experience, because it could, you know, deter them from wanting to go further in the hobby, or, you know, deter them from wanting to get another snake or anything. So, you know, I always want it to be a positive like thing for someone, whether it's your first snake or your 100th snake, your 1000th snake. You know, I want that snake to be exactly what you want it to be, and for it to produce and thrive and do amazing for you.
Ooh, pull up that question. Sorry, I got excited.
Question. Why I like Big Hank Show, great breeders, great info. I appreciate that.
Oh,
I really
yes.
do.
Or your planted tanks. I like you. Read that.
And one more question. Y'all legit. So there was a corn snake morph around 2011-ish coming out of South Carolina called Palmetto. It was a white base modeled with orange and red spots.
My favorite.
Yeah, so that's Kayla's absolute favorite corn snake. So they're super, super cool, because they're like a white-bodied snake, and they have like green and orange like flecks. They'll have varying amounts of it. So the cool thing is, though, when they're babies, it looks just like dots, but as they get older, they become more prominent, because the snake physically gets bigger. Those dots grow on the scales with them. It doesn't get more, whatever it's born with is what it has. But when the snake gets bigger, those spots are more prominent. There's some issues with it where they get like bug eyes sometimes, but there's select breeders out there who are working with it and kind of eliminating that or minimizing that.
I just shared that on our Instagram story. So we had a palmetto as well.
Yeah.
So I just shared it on the story. So whatever we talk about, I'll share on the story so you guys can see what we're talking about.
But palmetto corns are super, super cool. I was never super into corn snakes. I always thought they were cool, but like California king snakes were always my first love. So that's why I have mostly California king snakes.
Gotcha.
I love that he puts dates out there. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
Hey,
I love that.
I'm here to tell you about Warrior Planted Tanks. That's Steven, good friend of mine. When I tell you, this guy knows something about everything.
Oh, this one too.
That's cool.
Look, Latin, destination, origin regions. Oh man.
Oh, tell him about the boas. He would appreciate that.
So, well, with our boas, I only work with like island locality boas. So all the boas I have stay relatively small. The biggest species I work with are the Pearl Islands. They're about 8 foot, 7-8 foot, and then all the other ones stay under 6 foot. So they're really cool. The Hog Islands and the Nicaraguan boas, those ones, they're just really cool to me, because you can have that cool boa, but in a smaller package. It doesn't have to be a Colombian boa that's going to get 10 foot and just, you know, beyond thick. You know, they're just super, super cool. Argued with some clown or Repticon in Pensacola. You said it was a hoax. I wanted to punch him. I mean, you could easily pull it up on Google right now and type in palmetto corn.
Wait, we had one.
It'll pull up.
They're still around.
Palmetto has been proven out for a few years. That's yeah, exactly. Like Palmetto's been around for at least I want to say at least 5 or 6 years.
Just
if
send
not
them
longer.
our way. Send them our way. We got you.
Yeah. So yeah, those are all the boas we work with.
Yeah.
I love them. They're just super super cool. And then the Pearl Island boas are actually like really really hard to come by. Those are extremely rare. We went to the Tinley Expo, which is one of the biggest expos in the country, and I did not see one, not one. And of the Hog Islands, I only saw a pair. So it's literally like out of one of the biggest reptile shows in the country, to only see a pair or none of something, like, you know, they're hard to come by.
Right.
So I'm really excited. We have a male that we're raising up. My female Pearl Island is she's 11 or 12 years old now. The male we just got last year. So he's probably got another 2 years of growing to do. But I'm really, really looking forward to that breeding when I finally do get him up to size. And hopefully we get some viable babies out of that pairing.
Most definitely. Most definitely. Hey, and look, to have people be able to go back and forth like this with pertinent information, valid. Man, this is it's crazy. Now this is something that I'm learning how to get out of the way of. Like I said, I've been doing the fish streams for quite a while, and genetics aren't. I mean, here's a strain. Make sure you keep them together, keep them pure. This is what you're gonna have. So this is never really the type of discussion that you have on that side of the pet hobby. So right. I've been learning in the last few streams, because see, I do a lot because of my new work schedule. I have to do a lot of pre-records, 4 weeks of pre-records, 4 weeks of lives, in order to keep something coming. So what happens is I had was it Leviathan? May have been Leviathan snakes. They went in on genetics also. So it really hit me with them. So that's how I knew when y'all came up, hey, let them go.
Yeah.
You know, let them go, let them have it. And then listen, because a lot of people don't do that. They'll sit here like,
yeah.
Whereas I'm going to always, let me catch that. Now let me interject that back in.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, and I always tell, like, feel free, like, anybody, like, message us if you have questions about breeding, you have questions about genetic stuff. Just like, if I don't know it, I know someone who probably knows it. You know, I've been doing this a long time, but I'm still learning stuff. You know, 15 years of doing something, I'm still learning stuff. You know, that goes to show, like, there's still so much to do and so much to learn with any hobby. You know, like you go down the rabbit hole enough, you'll keep finding more stuff to learn. And, you know, I know a lot about this stuff, but I am by no means an expert. But, you know, if I can help, you know, any of you guys out there, you know, I'm always here to help.
Like Warrior, we're going to find you a palmetto, buddy. I promise.
Yeah.
We're going to find you one.
They're easy to find.
I know. I already know.
I know
down the street.
20 minutes down the road from me.
Good breeder.
I get you one.
Question: what would hog noses be? They're not colubrids. What would they be?
They're
a colubrid.
Are they colubrids?
Yeah, hog nose me.
You want a hog nose?
Grab me pumpkin.
And see, I'm kind of partial to some hog noses, but again, my wife is not trying to see no snake nowhere around.
Yeah,
so that's a whole other situation.
Hog nose are awesome because these do not get that big. So like this is a female that we're she'll breed next season for us. She's a toffee conda, so toffee and an anaconda, and they just had these really cool like just toffee striped bellies, just super beautiful.
So you can
really nice like orange base color to them. So this is a female. She'll probably get maybe another half size bigger. This right here is an adult male. They don't get that big. So this is an axanthic hog nose. Really cool bellies. Like I love the bellies on these guys. So he's got these like just crazy like black checkerboards on the belly. Just super, super cool. But this is an adult male. This is as big as this guy's going to get. He is not going to get much bigger than this. Maybe like a little bit, but not much. So they're a really cool, smaller species to work with. There's a lot of genetic stuff going on with them. Really, really cool. So, and we're waiting on a clutch. We should have a clutch in the next couple weeks here. We bred our lavender male to our axanthic het snow female, so we should have some cool double, possible triple het babies there. So they're cool. They're really, really cool though. All right, I'm off work. Let the weekend begin. Awesome. Glad you're finally off work. Enjoy that weekend.
Here, I got something for you. Hold on.
Oh, Kayla's getting more stuff.
Can you? Never mind. I got it. I'm gonna get you something. Hang on.
You grab Pluto.
No.
No. Mm-mm.
No.
I gave him food.
All
I gave
of
him
them?
one of the lives. No.
This guy?
Yeah, you can pass me him. I just fed Tang one.
Wait till you see. I got you something. This for you.
These guys are cool. So these are the Honduran milk snakes. So these things are just really just like insane, like orange. So this is a tangerine hypo. Just really, really, really pretty. I mean, and this color stays their whole life. I mean, they're just really incredible. So these are colubrids as well. So as far as the colubrids go, we work with the California Kings, the Honduran Milks, Western Hognose, and then we have Mexican Black Kings as well.
Mexican Black King, yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Yep.
I got a pair.
So we have a pair we're raising up. They probably won't be ready to breed for, I'd say, probably like 2 years or so, because they're still pretty small. But they're awesome. They're just jet black. You know.
Then they have that shine.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. They have shine to
Glistening.
them for sure.
So this is Knight. He's my baby.
Yeah. This is the male.
This is my male. Hang on. Let me get him all pretzeled up. So this is a Mexican Black King. This is my male. His name is Knight, like a knight in shining armor.
Solid black.
Ooh. He's just a beautiful guy. He's a little baby right now, but
just cannot wait to produce more of these.
I know, they're absolutely gorgeous. Like you can't get that solid color like anywhere. Oh, where are you going? He's like, I'm a snake bracelet. But yeah, these guys are seriously awesome. I mean, if you all black, solid, stealthy black, just beautiful.
That's the cool thing. You can get a snake in just about any color you want.
Right. Let me see. Is it Rainbow Boa?
Yeah, Rainbow Boas are cool.
With all of the translucent, like every color of the rainbow.
Yes. So they'll have like a iridescence over the scales. Now there's other species that have that iridescence on them, but Rainbow Boas arguably are the most notorious for it because I mean that's obviously how they got their name. So they're that like really awesome reddish orange base color with a really like oscillated pattern down the sides, and then that just gorgeous, you know, rainbow sheen over them. It's all I describe it to people like how if you see like oil in a parking lot in the water, like it's got that kind of like rainbow shimmer to it, but they have that like over their scales. It's very, very cool.
Most definitely.
All right. I'm back. Might as well announce it here. I'm dusting out the cobwebs, driving back in. Thanks for helping me remember what is love. That's awesome.
No. That's
really, really awesome. Yeah, and we're always here to help. Whether you're beginner, intermediate, advanced, you know, like we'll help with whatever we can help with, you know. Like I said, I got 15 years of this knowledge, but I'm by no means an expert. But you know, if I can help you in some way, shape, or form, I'm all about it.
You know what? You should tell Hank that we do have a fish tank.
Yes, we do have fish too.
Look at you with that smile. We have a fish tank too.
just a tropical community tank. we got cardinal and neon tetras up there. She wanted goldfish, so there's a couple goldfish in there.
I like goldfish.
We got a polka dot loach and then a big old pleco, which I got to move him up into like a 55 gallon because he's definitely getting big.
Gotcha. Yeah, you know everybody got to have at least one.
Yeah,
have at least one.
Yeah, no, they're awesome. I love fish. Like I'd love to have an arowana. I love arowana. I think they're awesome. I'd love to do some freshwater rays. If I could do saltwater, I'd want one that was just like kind of clowns and damsels and that kind of stuff. but I'd really love to do like a predator tank with like some eels. I love the Japanese dragon eels. Those things are friggin' awesome. Like those are probably hands down some of my favorite eels.
Gotcha. Is that like the one with the big face with the teeth?
Yeah, they're just and they're like red and just they're super cool. My local,
I think they're also dragon gobies, I think.
Yeah, you know, and it's funny. I love gobies too. I think they're super cool. There's some really cool gobies out there.
I like the fish with the big thing on the forehead. What is it called?
You like flower horn cichlids.
Flower horns.
She likes flower horns.
I don't know. I think they're cool.
Flower horns. Ew.
I don't know. Is that bad or is that good?
No, and it's funny because I know like
I don't think they're funny.
I know they're priced to a degree as like the various of like how big the protrusion on their head is and stuff. But yeah, they're really interesting. She loves
they're
like
crazy.
Really,
I like the weird stuff.
they're crazy. Like
yeah,
I've seen a lot of very good looking ones, but yeah, they're crazy. It's like when they're the poster child for overdone genetics.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Have to live by themselves. Can't
really
live
have
with decorations. Can't have decorations because they like pushing stuff over and sliding it all over the place and digging up plants.
So just a bare tank, and that's what you're stuck with.
I like them though. I don't know. I don't know.
But the thing about it,
you gotta give them love. The ones in the back some love, you know.
And the thing about it, they're with the idiosyncrasies, they're so personable. Like, yes, they may still try to bite you.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be like a cliched water puppy, water dog.
Yeah.
It's gonna be your fish. He's gonna recognize you. Nobody else may not be able to, do anything with him. So that's the other side of it that's real good about him. Yeah. So a responsible owner is needed.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, that can go with certain species of reptiles too. I mean, like the reticulated python we have down here. I mean, you definitely have to know what the heck you're doing and be responsible. Like I've worked with him so much that, because I would take him around to schools and do educational programs. I've taken him to Little Caesars Arena, which is our NBA arena, and I've done stuff with him there,
for like Detroit Pistons.
Yeah, for the Detroit Pistons, and I've done so much with him. Like I can take him out, and I have no issues. He has, he's extremely well socialized, and plus his enclosure is 6x4x2. Like it takes up a pretty big footprint there. And I mean, you have to look into not only the snake itself, but the enclosure, what you're going to need for it. He eats rabbits and pigs. Can you source rabbits and pigs? Right. There's some of these things where you have to look long term. I mean, he's going to live 35, 40 plus years. You got to look at the life of the animal, not just like impulse buy, like, yeah, that snake's super cool. Oh wait, it's 15 feet now. Like, what do I do now? Same thing with certain fish. There's certain fish that require more care than others, and certain, the pH levels in the water and all that stuff. Like some of them are so sensitive to stuff like that, where if you don't know what you're doing, you're jeopardizing the animal, which, you just got to do your research. That's all.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I really like blood python.
Oh, bloods are awesome. Like I love how just girthy and thick they get. Like they're super cool. And there's so many mutations coming out for those now. Like there's a lot, especially with the pieds coming out now for blood pythons. Like the blood python market, I really feel is going to get really huge with pieds coming onto the scene. It's going to be really cool. I mean, they are a very cool snake in their own right. And I've always loved them. I've had them on and off over the years. And but the pieds coming out now, that's going to be really, really cool to see what happens there.
Yeah, but with their fieriness, it's gonna put the popularity may soar.
Yeah,
there's gonna be a lot of people that's gonna be like, oh my God, you didn't tell me,
Yeah, and in general, like they can be good snakes. Like for the most part, they do have a bad rap of having like bad attitudes and stuff. But I mean, I've seen some that are absolutely puppy dog tame. So like I would say just with anything, the amount of time you put into something, because you can have retics that are taking shots at you every 2 seconds. This guy, I can pet him on his head, tickle him under the chin. He has no care in the world. But I mean, that's the time and effort you put in with each individual animal. The blood pythons I have were really, really, really calm individuals. I did have a tooth in my thumb for like a month, but that was my own doing. Because the one time I decided to not use my tongs, they were on the other side of the room, so I decided to hold it, and he was just going right up the side of the rat, wasn't even going at the rat, and I knew, my hand's behind it. I know I'm bracing for impact at this point. So it's like, do I let him take the bite and then he's wrapped on my finger, or do I try to get out of the way? So I try to get out of the way. And at the time, I didn't realize the tooth had broken off into my thumb, because he was only like 400 or 500 grams at the time. So their teeth are very small. But I was like pushing on it, and I'm like, man, there's got to be something in there. And like, I think a month went by. I was sitting in the middle of class. I was in college at this point, and I finally work in. I get the tooth out, and I'm like, yes. And like, everybody turns around and looks at me, and I'm like, nothing to see here. Right. I had like finally gotten this little itty bitty tooth out of my thumb. But they're awesome. What question we have? How do you manage and fight burnout? It's a thing we all face, but it's rarely talked about.
And thank you, Genetic Nerd, for that $10 super chat. I'm gonna touch on that question also.
Okay. I mean, over the years, like, I've just learned to, I don't know, pace myself to a degree. Like I said, with feeding, instead of doing it all in one day, like it's so much to try and do in one day when you do have a larger collection. So I've breaking it up into a couple days just to kind of give myself some kind of alleviation. There's a lot of things you can do, really. I mean, we'll still go on vacations and stuff. Like these guys, like if we're gone for a couple days, it's not gonna affect anything. But like honestly, coming here and working with our animals is almost like our break from like our regular jobs, because our regular jobs are stressful, and just coming home to be able to work with these snakes and do what we love, it's that's kind of our getaway. And
like, I'd much rather be here than anywhere else in the world. So like, to me, this is like my getaway. I would much rather be sitting here. I'm holding a baby gecko right now. I would much rather be sitting here doing this than stressing over what happened in the day. I have a very, very, you guys can't see me right now, but my job is incredibly stressful. I work a lot, and it's very, very stressful. But when I come home and I got this little baby gecko's life that is in my hands, where I have to take care of him, but you just see him and how happy they are. To me, this is the most stress relief thing to have, and to be able to come home and routinely take care of my animals. To me, especially with being a soldier and having PTSD and anxiety, this is like the most important thing, is to take care of your mental health. And these animals, I don't know about for y'all, but I've heard it a lot in the community, the reptile community especially too, that like our animals literally help us on a day-to-day basis to get through whatever we're going through. So when I actually need a break, we'll go on vacation or something like that, just to get away for a little bit, or we take a break off social media and stuff like that, just to get your bearings back, a little bit, get your, go hang out in the wilderness,
a little reset,
a little reset button. But it is very important on a day-to-day basis to take care of yourself, to make yourself, stretch out a little bit longer than just going hard and then crashing. So you got to do what you can do in order, for your own sake, I guess. Like Max and I, we are workaholics, but we love it though. This is sort of what we do. It doesn't stress us out to work, especially like housing 200 animals. This isn't work to us. This is what we do. Like, prepping for like, doing like stuff on social media and stuff will stress us out. Because sometimes it's hard and it's just difficult. We don't know what to do and whatever, but my thing is like being down here and like closing the door and leaving our phones on the other side of that door. It's just, we're at peace. So yeah, there's my midbit.
Gotcha. And speaking on, if they were asking, let's say, about burnout in the hobby.
Oh, the hobby? Yeah.
Yes. I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying if that's where they were headed. I too have a very stressful job. I work in a prison system, and I've been doing that since mid-90s in different shapes and form.
Yeah.
And as Steve, Warrior Plantation mentioned earlier, talking about when life has a tendency to sometimes get in the way, and it can actually confuse hobby, work, because you're trying to divide all of these things, you know, and separate them. In my case, this stream right here, if we're gonna be talking about burnout in the hobby, this stream right here is part of my resurgence or refresher, because I've been doing the other stream so long that things I used to pay attention to, things that meant certain, you know, that were important, you know, kind of just fall off to the wayside, or were that's what they were doing. But I felt such an obligation and feel such an obligation to do it, you know, because I do this. This is a ministry for me. We going back to mental health and the whole nine. YouTube is a ministry for me, because YouTube don't pay no bills at my house.
Yeah.
YouTube is a ministry for me. So when I noticed, oh man, you know, I'm you know, I need to figure out something. And I'm looking at my little tree frog over there, you know, in the middle of the night. I'm peeping in, and he's looking out the glass, because he's like, he's like, I felt you walking in here, you know, before you opened the door. You know, and I'm like, man, you know, I'm looking at all these snakes and these morphs and these ball pythons. I think I'm gonna start talking to them too.
Yeah.
And I tried to do it on the same fishy den platform per se, but that is established, and it is what it is. And there's a lot more fish snobs. Sorry, fish people, but you know I'm telling the truth. And it becomes more extreme when you go into like better people, and it becomes, you know, a whole big thing. So I didn't want them to feel alienated, left out in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
So I left that in the position that it is, and I still put content over there, and I still have people on there. But this over here is like almost like my mental relaxation and refresher, because this is all new. All these months, you see how interested I am in the genetic side, and because this is crazy, because out of all the animals that I've experienced breeding and things of that nature with, at this point, and this is counting the other reptiles and snakes, but ball pythons above all seem to have the most morphs. There's no other animal out there that you can be allowed to say this is still the same animal when you have so many different morphs.
Yes. Yeah.
They make it becomes something else.
Yeah.
You know, oh, this is a different strain of this. It's a cousin to that. Well, ball pythons are still ball pythons. So that means you have more work dividing all of these genetics and color combos in one creature, and you still respect it. You're not selling mutts. You're not, you know, I come from that, you know.
Right.
Yeah. Oh my God, this is a mutt. You done modeled the bloodline. That's not what's going on with ball pythons.
Right.
So it's so stimulating. You know, I think people forgot I was very intelligent. You know, I think I started forgetting it at one point. and this is just very stimulating. So sometimes you just have to change up. Like financially, vacation, you know, I had to have a mini stroke on last week in order to have me a vacation. I made a joke out of it, but it's serious, you know. But
oh, well, you're doing better, right?
Oh yeah, no, I'm good. It was
all right.
It's sashimic. I'd have to look up what the name of it, but it mimics a stroke more so than it actually being a stroke, but you go through the same situation, but it doesn't mess with the electrical impulses to the muscles that pull stuff.
Okay.
It doesn't stop any of that. It doesn't weaken the arms and the feet and the hands and the legs. It didn't do any of that. But in the midst of it, it is what it is. And you know, you have to change, you know, I'm gonna have to change diet, and I'm gonna have to get back in the gym and drink more water, and all of these things I still have to do. My blood pressure pill, they raised it up 5 milligrams. But again, all of that stuff I think was still partially connected to burnout in regards to my job.
Yeah.
I hear you.
You know, I work at a prison, for God's sake, and that's where it happened at.
Yeah.
You know, I was assigned to one place, and then as soon as I got there, I was called on the radio, sent somewhere else that, to me at the time, because I've been doing that for so long, it didn't seem like it was a real big thing. But for anybody else, it would have been a game changer mentally. You know, it's like, hey, you're in this little easy spot, now we're gonna send you over here to do some high risk type of stuff, and you have a time crunch that's working against you.
Yeah.
And then there's 911 ambulance inside this unit, and we can't do that job until that's gone. But you're told to do this, and now you got two people who have to follow the rules, and that's a clash.
Right.
I get you 100%. I do. Ooh.
And then I had a confarction, you know, and I was just like,
yeah.
I'm out. I'm out. Where's my wheelchair? Because I can't do this right now.
Oh.
Oh, man.
And I just thought of that right now, you know, because they've been doing tests, and they're like, man, we don't know, we can't find where it comes from. But I had high blood pressure anyway, so it probably ends up being I needed my blood pressure pill raised anyway, the 5 milligrams.
Mm-hmm.
But I was hit with all of that at one time, and it was just like
overload.
No compute.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. Shut it down, plug me back in.
Right. It's good that you have this platform, though, that allows you to get away from that, you know, and that's what I think Instagram is like for me, and creating and being with my animals and stuff, and like making funny, stupid videos where people can laugh at, because at the end of the day, we all need a laugh every once in a while, you know. We need a good laugh. Be silly. It's okay to be silly. It's okay to be yourself. And at my job, same as yours, like I have to be serious all the time, you know. So when I come home, I'm making these silly ass videos. Ask him, and I post it up, and I'm cracking up. Like I'm cracking up at myself.
Yeah, she'll be like laughing off to the side. I'm like, what are you doing all
that?
It's like, you're gonna laugh. You're gonna laugh.
I see him with the Dior glasses and all of that.
My Dior glasses, But it's good to, like, you know,
she gets
like,
a kick out of it. It's
all
very
a joke.
entertaining.
It's all a joke, because that ain't me. I'm far from that. Woo. But it's hilarious, because I'm like, I don't see myself in this element, but it's really funny, and it's just something to laugh at, and just to be, you know,
and you'll have a sense of humor.
You gotta have a sense of humor.
Sometimes we get so away from that kid. Do y'all remember the talking cat app? Like, you know.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, I went on a roll.
What's up, Kenny?
At one point, I went on a roll. I had talking. I ended up being a freestyle rapper, redoing people's songs and running it through the talking cat.
What is that app called? It's just I
think it's just Talking Cat.
I remember it. I don't remember.
What is it?
I think it's just Talking Cat.
Okay, because man, I remember that. That is funny.
I have times where I have to.
At one point, yeah.
They had dogs, birds, little flamingos. They had all these different things.
And they had like a little face on it.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. Because actually, a guy I work with was doing all kinds of stupid videos. It was a dog, and then I think he had one that was like a hamster or something too.
Probably.
Oh, Tom the Talking Cat. There you go.
Yeah, it was funny as hell.
Oh, Tom the Talking Cat. Oh, that's right. It was a cartoon. That's right. Oh man, that's been a while. Wow.
Thank you, genetic nerd. And I'm good. I'm so open-minded to where it's like my brain seeks stuff to take me away from, like that's not crack rocks and, you know, stuff like that.
Right.
You know, I can be silly, and a lot of people just don't know it. Like my kids know, my wife know, you know, because, you know, I walk around with this, what did my daughter call it, RBF, because my mother had it.
Bitch face.
Yeah, my mother.
That's normally me too.
My mother had it. I have it. She had. I'm gonna show you. Let me show it to you.
There's mine.
That's good. I can't do it.
You know, so people are like, "Oh my God, he's You know,
Yeah, people
don't
are like, dang,
don't look
he's
at him.
scary.
Don't look at him.
Oh, look at it.
Just let him go by. Just and I'm like, if you speak to me, I might talk to you for 3 hours right now. You don't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You know,
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not that dude. I just look like him. You know.
Yep. Man, just being a soldier for so long too, you just get used to that, you know. And that's why being around here, I love to smile, I love to laugh. Like y'all all see that, but you don't see my civilian job, my regular job, you know. It's a whole different world. Whole different world.
Yes.
I had to get used to doing the whole social media thing, believe it or not.
I would say I'm a little bit like when I have like that kind of like serious I guess that's like when I'm in the gym. Like I don't want people like bugging me or anything. I'm in there to like get what I need done and get out. So like, you know, I'm almost be expressionless on my face, you know, when I'm training. But like I don't want some, hey bro, you know, what do you do for this or what do you do for that? Like, dude, like I gotta get this stuff done. I got work in an hour. I gotta get home and get all my food together. I gotta get the dogs out. I gotta get my clothes ready. Like I don't have time to, you know, do this stuff. Not that I don't want to help them out, but like, you know, like I'm there to get stuff done and get out. Like, so like headphones on and my face is just like, oh, don't want to talk to that guy. He looks angry today.
Right. Yeah, I know that one too.
Hey, you know what we need to do? We need to get Hank. We need to get you one of these guys right here.
Oh, that'd be cool. Crested gecko for you.
Crested gecko.
You need one of these. These guys are so cute.
Super easy.
And they'll look right at you.
You don't have to worry about bugs or nothing with them. They'll eat like a reconstituted.
Oh, like the little paste stuff. I got you. And
he'll jump on my phone. Yeah, he's a little jumpy.
And my daughter just asked me before I started the stream. She was like, "Hey, ask them prices." I say, "Baby, these aren't lizard people."
Yeah.
Oh, we got geckos too.
Yeah, we might eventually breed the gargoyle geckos. I don't think we'll breed cresteds, but the gargoyles I'm really coming around to. I think they're cool. That's the little one that she had out earlier.
I don't know. Fish Tropics, what's going on, bro? I is concerned the tail dropping.
Yes.
Tail dropping.
So with crested geckos, theirs will drop and it will not grow back. But with gargoyles, it will grow back. Leachianus geckos, the tail will grow back. Crested geckos are the only New Caledonia gecko, at least to my knowledge, the only one that when they drop their tail, it will not grow back.
This guy is what, 8 years old?
Yeah, and once they're old enough, like if they're gonna drop their tail, they're gonna be a younger individual when they do it.
They're flighty and shaky. Yeah.
Yeah, like this guy's had his tail, you know, obviously his whole life. He's not gonna drop it. If he dropped it now, it would be because like I aggressively grabbed him or something like that. Because it's a defense thing. So when they drop that tail, it means they're threatened because that tail is gonna writhe on the ground and distract the predator while they make a run for it. So if he feels threatened, that's when they're going to drop their tail. But obviously, you know, he hasn't felt threatened enough to do that.
Because we got him 8 years ago at the Tinley NARBC show.
Yeah.
And we got him for $30.
Yeah.
And like nowadays, they're like in the hundreds.
Yeah, the price has gone up.
It's insane.
Crazy. And it's cool because they have a prehensile tail because you'll see if I push on his tail, see how he grabs it?
Like
he'll grab it like a monkey. He'll actually use that tail. So it does have functionality to it too. Not that they can't like, you know, function without the tail, but you know, they're super cool. Very interesting gecko for sure. They don't require any heat, no special lighting. They'll eat bugs. Like we supplement him with crickets and stuff, but they mostly eat the Rapashi diet, which is basically just like powder you reconstitute with water into like a baby food consistency.
He likes to be high. You put him up there and they'll just chill on your head.
So they're good for like people who want a lizard but like don't want to feed them bugs or you know, and they don't have to have like a bunch of special lighting or anything like that. Like they're super simple.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, my daughter's gonna try to go to. We have a pretty good size reptile convention deal coming next weekend.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be off one day of that, but she's like, "Dad, you know, can we go?" And I'm like, "I'll see." You know.
How close are you to Arlington?
So 2.5, 3 hours.
Okay, because there's a big show in Arlington. It's the NARBC show in Arlington. That is a huge reptile show.
You guys would love it there.
It's probably the biggest show that you guys have in Texas. I would venture to guess.
Good connections, and you guys are great people.
You'll see stuff that you've probably never seen before.
We can introduce you to some of our Texas friends.
Yeah, we have a lot of people down in the Texas area.
A lot of good people down there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Shoot me a list in Messenger.
Yeah, for sure. And we'll shoot you the dates of the show because I don't know when it is off the top of my head. But
yeah, we're up here in the north, so
it's definitely worth checking out for sure. Because our closest NARBC is the Tinley show that's down in Chicago. That one's in March and October, so we'll be down there for the October show. But you being in Texas, Arlington would definitely be worth the drive.
Definitely.
We haven't been to that one yet. We've had a lot of people that wanted us to come down to it, so we'll have to make our way down there one of these.
Make sure you bring water in your walking shoes because you're going to be walking everywhere.
It's a big show.
Yep.
Big show.
And I don't know who sanctioned. Okay, the one that's coming next weekend is at the NRG, which is. It's the Reliance Stadium where the Texans play, but right outside of it, they have a big meeting area or whatever.
Okay.
So in order to use that, it would have to be a pretty big show.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure who sanctions it.
Okay.
I'll look up some Texas dates.
Yeah.
For
sure.
Yeah.
But it's definitely worth the drive.
Kenny just said the next Arlington show is in September.
Okay, September.
So
okay.
I'll get you the dates. Don't worry. Yeah.
All right, genetics nerd. Hey, we finna get out here anyway. We finna get out here. We went 30 minutes over, and like I said, I just let it roll. But I got some chicken. I got some chicken in there. That I need to go eat.
That sounds good. Chicken and rice is my thing. So.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to go back. Tuna and rice, chicken and rice. Oh, I don't really miss it, in that form.
I'm to that point where it's just like, all right, if it's 10 meals of chicken and rice a day, hey, it's 10 meals of chicken and rice a day. That is what it is,
Hey, if you don't, like diverge, deviate, because I did, I've deviated for like a while now.
Yeah.
And I've had a lot of food that tastes excellent. And because I used to be the guy that's,
yep.
It doesn't need to taste. Let's go get this in over here. I used to be that guy. Nasty protein bar that's this thick.
Those are the worst.
But it has less sugar. And I mean, I was that guy. I would get corn tortillas and cut them. Okay, 16 tortilla chips, and then I'd get my scale and get my cheese. Said, boy, how do you got nachos with 12 chips with just a little cheese on top and nothing else?
Consistency. You got to know what's going in.
The little. You go to the dollar store and you get a little Snicker bar, like about this big.
A little fun size guy.
I had to let app on my phone, and I'm like, beep.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It's that big, right? So I'm.
Yeah, right.
Make that last. Savor the flavor.
Like, how are you biting that, dude? Like, just eat it.
I just gotta get that craving out the way.
Hey, they used to talk about that Thanksgiving and stuff. Okay, I have the tray with all of the slots. Turkey, macaroni and cheese,
yeah.
Greens might be like this, cabbage might be, Now,
but no
I would pick one dessert, and tell myself you have 700 calories. This dessert is gonna be dinner.
Yeah.
Dinner. You have no more calories. Drink water.
Drink water.
Right? Yeah, drink water.
That's the hardest. Is just drinking water when you're hungry as
shit. I found all of the non-sugar little drink mixes that you pour in the water.
Yeah.
I've tried everything, man. Oh, hey, sadly, I'm gonna have to go back there because that extreme still worked for me.
Yeah.
I mean, it worked for me. Very well.
Yep.
I don't know an in between because that in between is real shaky. You know, that's real shaky.
Yeah.
Set up for failure. Binge. Oh my God! Somebody tie him down. You know.
You crazy guy. You crazy guy. That's so funny. Well, we
Man,
appreciate
Oh, yeah.
you for sure, man. This was wonderful.
Yeah, no, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Really good time for sure.
Man, I'm so glad that y'all came on. I am an advocate of fun. Fun at the same time, you know, of being educated, getting it in. Because, you know, I went through school like everybody else. You know, you're just in the class. I was a little kid with ADHD who would have to stay after school in elementary for like 2 hours to finish my work because they couldn't paddle me enough. They couldn't give me enough sentences to write. People in my house, my mother, my grandmother, everybody would write sentences over the weekend because I would have so many. I mean, so it was like, you just stay after school every day. You know, all the other kids are gone. Now you finish your work. Mom shows up 4:30, 5 o'clock, you know, and pick you up.
Right?
Yeah.
So if they had incorporated something interesting in there with me, hey, I got you.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's we try to make the education fun. It makes learning more fun. It could be the most boring, subject in the world, but as long as you make it fun and, easier for people to understand, like I'll try to like do word associations where I'll say, okay, I'm saying this, but it's the equivalent of like this. So you put in like normal stuff, like, supplements, they're just supplements, you still have to work out and do all this stuff, like it's like putting an amplifier into the guitar. You still have to pick up the guitar and play it. The amplifier does nothing unless you pick up that guitar and play it.
Like, what was it? Warrior said something about cars earlier. Ferrari versus hot rod.
Yeah,
or whatever.
I mean,
like to me, like that's like the perfect analogy.
Yep, most definitely.
Yeah,
most definitely. But yes, y'all, thank you very much.
Definitely
for coming on because we'll be stuck here. We'll be stuck here. I'll get in a loop.
Oh, we could go on. If I go into genetics, I could talk for another 2 or 3 hours. But
don't get them started now.
We can save that for another time.
Exactly, and there will be another time.
Sounds
Absolutely.
good.
Whenever you're scheduling, let us know. We'll definitely pop on. You're an awesome guy. Thank you so much.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
We appreciate you having us on.
Yeah.
Hey, and I'm gonna try to start doing some streams. I gotta figure out and look into exactly how it works on Instagram because I want them to be scheduled. I want to have guests. I don't want like no bargainners, none of that. But I want to actually have one that's on Instagram. I already have a name for it. Herps by the gram. You get it? You have to wait a second.
I like that.
That's good. All right.
Hey, don't nobody steal that. Don't steal it. Don't steal
that's all you. That is all you. I can actually show you on Instagram how you can do that because you can actually save your live videos and you can schedule them, or you can schedule a post and then you can actually go live on that same day and time. And you can actually save your live videos to different series. I'll show you how to do it. I can show you.
Yeah, she's good with all that stuff.
Yeah.
That works.
She'll teach you about that, and I'll teach you about genetics. We'll get y'all set up.
I'll take all that, man. Hey, and so you know it. This little bitty room. Look, that's as far as my hands go. See how small this room is. So
you got a little bit. You got a little bit of room.
I'll be able to move to somewhere bigger, maybe. We can upgrade. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they like small spaces, so I mean.
Well, we'll make that space work for you.
Yeah, right.
Already. Okay, that'll work. Hey, all y'all that sat in here with us on this video, thank you very much for participating and pouring in, getting all this information. Now, if you're over 1,000 subs on YouTube, please put this video in your community tab. You know how on TikTok where it say, hey, man, why you hadn't made it yet? Because you haven't shared my shit.
Yeah.
Why haven't you shared it yet? That's what I'm trying to figure out. You know what I'm saying? I got people saying, man, Hank, man, you're beautiful, man. You're a wonderful guy, man. But you're trying to pigeonhole me.
Yeah, you gotta make sure you like the video.
Yeah, you're trying to keep me to yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Share them out.
Share it out there.
There's
Tell the
other
world.
people out there, you know what I'm saying, that want to check it out.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Hey, tell somebody you love them because somebody needs to hear it.
Amen.
I love you.
I love you.
That's what I'm talking about. I've been married 25 years, y'all.
We're working on it. Every baby from this year goes to the wedding fund, so we're getting
Hey, already keep it rolling, keep it rolling. Don't let my wife hear that, because we got married in my grandmother's living room with a T-shirt that said groom and a T-shirt that said bride.
Hey,
but guess what? It lasts 25 years.
It lasts 25 years.
Yeah, it's the love. It's the
years.
love. At the end of the day, it's the love. You know.
At the end of the day, that's definitely what it is. Hey, y'all remember now? Y'all remember? Check out my live stream with Gator Pool Gators, because the last 20 minutes or so, even if you want to fast forward there, I wouldn't have a problem with it. The last 20 minutes or so is real.
Yeah,
it's real.
Okay, I'm gonna let you know if our girl lays tonight.
I'm gonna watch the whole thing. Oh yeah, no,
that'll work.
Get eggs there tomorrow.
That'll work. Hey, I have a African house snake.
Yeah.
Named after me.
Oh really?
About 2 weeks ago, Bob Kayla named his African house snake after me. Big.
That's so cool.
Hank. Oh yeah.
I love that.
That's so cool.
All right, y'all, we're going to get out of here, because you see how I'm still trying to talk and trying
to...
no, you know.
We can talk all night. Trust me, I'm sure.
All right, now, y'all be good. Tell somebody you love them, like I said. We out. Peace.
Take care, everybody. See ya.